T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Go and see Joe's Sports Channel.
Welcome to Joe Sports Channel. You can follow me on Joe the Fighting John Instagram. You can follow me on Taker Devil on hashtag Joe Sports Channel. Ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls of all ages, to all the wonderful and fantastic, beautiful Booni believers out there, it is March 18th, 10:45 p.m. Eastern Time. And I hope all you guys all out there from the West Coast to the East Coast, and especially my brothers and sisters from the Middle East, are having a fantastic morning and a great evening and maybe an early good morning. Sabah al-khair bi Lubnan wa bi Syria. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is a big show, and tonight everybody has been waiting. When is Joe Booni going to have his thoughts on the Toronto Maple Leafs and the goaltending situation this year? I have some amazing guests backstage. I want to give a big shout out to my beloved friend named Ing for putting that beautiful video together. Ing, I love you, man. Seriously, you're my brother from a different mother. You're a good man. I'm going to actually bring you on first before anybody else. Ladies and gentlemen, from Vancouver, British Columbia, Ing. From the great city alone itself, London, Ontario, Canada. From the great city alone as well, Saskatchewan. And we got the one and only, I think he's from London, Ontario, Canada. I might be wrong. He's welcome back. He's a new Booni believer, Nathan Jack. Good evening.
Kitchener.
How you guys doing tonight?
Doing well. How are you, Joe?
You know what? I can't complain. It's been 5 full weeks since your broadcaster, Joe Booni, and Joe Sports Channel has been absent. But I'm back, and I'm ready to go. Unfortunately, we're still not back at the studio, but we find a way to do things no matter what on the Joe Booni Show and the Joe Sports Channel with your beautiful, sexy pinata face son.
You're on the road. You're doing the road show now.
Yeah, we're on the road to victory, you know. Eng, get off mute for a sec, for Christ's sake. Get off mute.
I feel a little bit, I feel bad that I was pulled up before Johnny. because that's not right.
No, that's all right.
No.
You earned it. You had
I'm gonna
the.
send you another gift card. It's my fault. I'm sorry.
We'll send it to you.
No.
My question, guys, is we're all equal, and it doesn't matter who I bring up. It's the crew I have. It's the supporters I have. Listen, I met Nathan Jack about a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
And I looked into his eyes, and I saw two things: truth and an honest individual. And when we were speaking, it was like another brother from a different mother. And I said, this guy's actually going to be good on my show. I don't care if he likes sports or not. I want to bring this guy on my show. And I found out he is my brother from a different mother because he's a Leafs fan as well, the original six. So, Nathan, it's a pleasure. And I mean, it's truly a pleasure to have you on the show tonight. So thank you for attending, my friend.
Thank you for having me, Joe.
No
I
problem.
may go out on a limb here. Are you also a Green Packers fan and think Wayne Gretzky is the best hockey player?
I don't know.
So,
That's passionate. Come on, let's just start with the simple, right?
I
I'm
grew
a
up.
Leafs fan.
I grew up down the street from Wayne Gretzky's house.
Oh,
Yeah.
Say no more.
Yeah.
Listen, I would
Wayne Gretzky
kneel-
is one of the greatest hockey players to ever live, in my opinion.
there
We
you
have
go.
found the right friend you need, Joe.
We have some bias in here. Don't like Gretzky.
Extreme
They're gonna
bias,
call them
yeah.
out. It's going to be Rita and Eng. They dislike Gretzky. They don't think he's the best
No,
player.
no. We don't dislike him.
No,
Because-
don't put words in my mouth.
Yeah.
No. You said that.
I pick on Wayne Gretzky because I know it gets you going. Wayne
Kind of like
Gretzky
Tom Brady.
is, yeah. If I was to say something negative about Tom Brady, you'd be angry too. So
No, you.
I just like picking on.
You
Nathan,
What?
we love Gretzky. We do love Gretzky.
You don't think Gretzky's the greatest? You think he's?
But
okay.
without Messier and Pronger, he wouldn't go as far. Just say.
That's fair.
William
I shut up.
Nylander.
You have a crush on that William Nylander, but let's talk about that later on. We got a show to run, okay? You guys are
No,
watching
to
the show
looks.
already.
Rita, he doesn't know how to play hockey.
Lead us into the show, Joe. Where you want to go?
Folks, again, the title tonight is Booni's thoughts on the Toronto Maple Leafs this season in goaltending. I want to talk about tonight's game specifically. I thought Matt Murray actually had a solid game tonight against the Ottawa Senators. Remember, Matt Murray last year was coming off an injury, and he played for Ottawa. He's a two-time Stanley Cup champion in Pittsburgh. Now, when you look at Matt Murray and Samsonov, and this is the thing that concerns me, when you get into the playoffs, do the Toronto Maple Leafs have enough what it takes to beat a team like Tampa Bay? Do
Yes.
they have enough to beat a team like the Boston Bruins? Do they have enough to beat a team like a struggling Washington Capitals that are trying to fight for that last playoff spot? Can the Leafs do that? And I'm going to explain it all, but I want to ask each and every one of you guys before I give you my opinion. I want to go from Johnny B. Good. Is Matt Murray or Samsonov the starting goaltending for the Toronto Maple Leafs at the beginning of Game 1, the Stanley Cup Final versus looks like Tampa? What's going on there?
Well, it's interesting because I always look at the stats, and they were saying Samsonov actually has, I think he was undefeated at home. So when they start the playoffs, I would start him at home. Murray is your guy with the experience in the playoffs. So he had a great game tonight, 51 or 52 shots against Ottawa. So he definitely, I would say, stole the game for them. It was a really tight game. So, but definitely the goaltending starting to come around. So I see them have more confidence in Samsonov and Murray now than maybe where they were last month or 2 months ago even.
Rita?
I believe Samsonov is going to be the lead goalie, but Murray is doing a lot better. He played pretty good tonight, other than he's got to stop knocking the net. Well, okay, that was an accident, right?
Yeah.
He had some help there. The defense were trying to help him, but I think everybody kind of collided in the net there. So
Yeah, that's true. But no, Samsonov.
I
Nathan
think the only
Jack?
thing Murray is missing is just he's been injured, he's been out, so he's trying to find his way again. So again, it's just repetition. The more games he gets in, the more confidence he'll get his game back. Whereas Samsonov has taken the majority. He looked great. Was it the other night when they were they playing in their green? Oh, they were playing Carolina.
Carolina
Yeah,
Hurricanes.
Samsonov was
Yeah.
great. He looked stellar. He looked like a playoff goalie when they were playing the other night in their green, or last night in their green uniform. So
Yes.
That was a great game. That was a great game.
He was great. I mean, he definitely again won the game. That's what you want. You want your goalie to stand on his head and steal a game for your team if they can.
I just, it's funny because the Leafs can beat a second overall team. And as I look at the facts right now, the Toronto Maple Leafs right now is sitting second in the not in the Walt, in the Atlantic with 93 wins. And you go to the Carolina Hurricanes, they got 98 points. So, we come to a conclusion. The Leafs can beat the Carolina Hurricanes, but the Leafs can't beat teams like the Buffalo Sabres. And this is a team called not consistent. They're not a consistent team. I really want to go to Nathan Jack. I think Nathan Jack has something to say on the top of his tongue. So Nathan.
So yeah, I agree with what everyone's saying when it comes to the goaltenders. I think that the goaltenders they have right now have serious potential, really. Especially, I can't remember that one guy's name right now. Samsonov. Yeah, he's doing quite well. Matt Murray is doing quite well. This was an issue Toronto saw back in the day, even back in the Curtis Joseph days. Stellar goalie, bad coordination and flow, right? So even if we look at last night's game, we had a 5-4 game, but with an incredibly stellar goalie that stopped a lot of shots. Where was the defense in that coordination, making sure those shots didn't get to net, so it could have been a 5-2, a 5-3 game, or even a complete blowout, maybe a 5-1, right? Because we know Toronto has the offensive capabilities to put shots on net and to get them in. And we know that the goalies can stop shots, but why does the opposition get so many good opportunities to get goals in the net? And I think it's what Joe said, is it's like coordination issue that they have.
Yeah.
Well, again, they just acquired some pieces on defense. So they acquired some great players. I think they improved. They cleaned house. So I think they did a good job there and adding some more pieces. So I think it's just working, maybe finding their way in which pairings and how they want to situate them, who works well together. So I think those are just the things they're trying to figure out now as they make the playoff push now.
That's fair. I find that happened a couple of years ago, though. They had really cleaned the ranks, brought in a bunch of young guys. That's when Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews came in, a few others. And that was a lot of the arguments, was that this is a really young team now, and they need to learn how to have synergy as a team. But then when you go and do it again, like I was looking through, because I didn't see the game just now. I was training boxing just now, so like I wasn't able to catch it. But I'm looking through the roster, and I'm not seeing Muzzin anymore. Did they get rid of him, or did he?
He's on the IR as far as
he's out for the season.
Oh, he's injured.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's out. That's why they made some trades at the deadline to pick up some other defensive pieces.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, Muzzin's usually a good player, usually a good defenseman.
I like Muzzin. He's solid.
He's from Woodstock, I think, right?
No way.
Yeah, he's originally from Woodstock. Yeah, a little talent. You know what I mean? That's what as far as I know, Jake Muzzin. Yeah, I think he's from Woodstock.
Wow, I used to go to elementary school there.
Yeah. Jake Muzzin's from. Let me see. Let's fact this. Jake was an E. Jake Muzzin. If he's not there, he's from Hamilton.
Who are the guys they added at the deadline? It was McCabe and
what's stuff Ontario?
Oh my goodness.
They added three players who I really, really enjoy watching this year. And I'll go back to your question, Johnny. Is John Tavares? I think he's improved it the most this year. The guy's on a 35 goal. You know, he's going for that 35. You know, I really hope that Tavares continues on playing the right speed. You know, I know he's a lot older. He's a lot older than other players, but this is the guy that you want for captain for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's the leader. He doesn't need to score always. He doesn't need to give assists. The most important thing from a captain is what he says in that locker room and what is said. That's why I call Peyton Manning the greatest quarterback of all time. You might say Tom Brady with the records, but on paper, but really deep inside, Manning is the smartest quarterback, and that's the guy you want to look up to and see what's wrong and what's right and continue as a team. And you want to continue as a team, you got to keep that motive, because when you keep that motive, you will always be successful. You don't always have to score, always assist, but always give advice to your players and always be there for your players no matter what.
Ryan O'Reilly.
Ryan O'Reilly, that's who it was. Yeah, he's injured. He has a broken thumb, as far as I know.
Yeah.
And
He'll be back for the playoffs, though. He'll be another key piece down the stretch that we really haven't seen much of yet.
Jake McCabe. John McCabe.
Jake McCabe came from Chicago, and he was a big improvement. You know, he's a great defenseman. He's tough, and he reminds me kind of a mini version of Zdeno Chara, you know, from the Boston Bruins.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good player. I'm glad they required him. We haven't got Mr. Ing's thoughts. What do you think?
I personally, here's the thing, and I don't mean this panel, but discussions like that, and the press does it. It's almost like a week before trading, and they talk about, they're all athletes, and you will see in 2 months, it could be all looking different. It's sport. It has everyone knows what it's about. Look, even the Canucks now think they have a dog in the fight. All of a sudden, you know, like right then, we have to wait it out. You can't just take out one guy. His name is all over the press, social media, and everyone is tapping in. Discussions like this, let's just have this season ended and we go into the playoffs. And everyone who makes it into the playoffs has a reason to be there.
Of course, you have the reason to be there, and I understand, but let me stop you for a sec. It is the big question out there. Are one of these goalies good enough, and have they proved to themselves they're good enough to start goaltending, like for the playoffs? I'm going to say no. I don't think Samsonov or I don't think Murray are starting goals for a playoff matchup, especially against the Tampa Bay Lightning. You know, go back to Jack Campbell. I was a huge Jack Campbell fan. Okay.
Yeah, he was
And
good.
you know what? Jack Campbell,
this year.
I know, but Jack Campbell is better than Matt Murray, better than Samsonov overall. If he stayed in Toronto,
Right now.
I'm talking about before they traded. He had a phenomenal season. You
I
know,
don't know. I disagree. I think Samsonov, he has struggled, but I think like last night, man, he looked good. So the question is, can they provide stability throughout the play? Because the playoffs are a long stretch. I mean, if you're going to go the turn, I mean, to go, you know, night after night after night, like at least they get breaks here and now and they can swap out, but it's going to be the endurance of the playoffs and the playoff run. Can they? No, they might have to tag team. Like I said, Samsonov has been unbeaten, I think undefeated at home. So I would run him at home, and then possibly if he needs the break, if they're going back to back, then use Murray maybe on the road in Tampa.
but don't you remember many years ago that it was the starting goalie and the backup would play maybe 3-4 games? Now it looks like it's one game for the starting goalie, and for the backup goalie, it's one game. It's like this split. And I know, you know, these players get tired and they're exhausted, but they're making millions of dollars, not thousands of dollars, millions of
Well,
dollars.
if they're going back-to-back games, I mean, I understand. But if you've got a day in between, you should be able to go. But again, like I said, the playoffs, it's a tough stretch. And if you're going back and forth between Toronto and Tampa and well, I don't know.
There's no excuse when Carey Price went in there, took you guys to the Stanley Cup final. He played back-to-back. You know, I like tough goaltending like Patrick Wall, you know, Martin Brodeur. I can go on, you know, Ken Dryden.
Montreal hasn't anybody good since.
One question I have, though, about Samsonov and Murray, have they seen playoff time before?
Murray has champion.
The challenge with Murray, he's been injured the majority of this. Well, he's been injured. He's trying to come back now. So that was the issue Ottawa had with him. That's why they traded him, because he's a good goalie, but just couldn't stay consistent, couldn't stay healthy. So again, we'll see if he can be ready for the playoffs.
Because then, even though Samsonov was looking so sharp, maybe it might be an issue to start him if he's going to get playoff jitters, right? So that's an issue too.
That game one is going to tell a lot, right? That game one at home in Toronto is going to tell a lot, right? That we'll see where they go from there. Like I said, if they win, they're in good shape. If they lose, they're back on their heels, right? So.
Yeah.
Now, this might be crazy to say, but if the Leafs really need to win this series, they got to win 2 at home, not 1. They can't split it up. because that's what they did last year against Tampa.
Like I
You know
said,
what?
that
And you know
first game out of the gate is a big game. That's going to set the tone.
Yeah, they beat themselves in Game 6, Toronto and Tampa. They beat themselves. You can say that
Well,
penalty was called, but they beat
they had him on the ropes and they let him go.
you know.
They were close.
It was so disappointing, coming from a Leafs fan since I was 4 or 5 years old.
And then look at that, Tampa got on a roll and they went all the way to the final. So
yeah, and I wish they won it that year. I wish they won it last year, but unfortunately Colorado was the ones that came up.
Avalanche were just too strong. There's another team that's coming on strong again.
Yeah. Well,
Joe, let me ask you this, Joe.
Yeah.
A hockey team plays different if they believe in their goalie or not. Defensively, offensively. Who do you think does the team more believe in?
I think that
Murray
the team,
or Samsonov?
I to be honest with you, I think the team believes more in Matt Murray. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Matt Murray is more experienced in the playoffs. He's gone into situations like going to the Stanley Cup final, going back to back. I mean, winning, I think was the youngest goalie for winning back-to-back Stanley Cups. It was unbelievable. Now you look at Samsonov. I don't think he's great. I think he's mediocre, like medium okay. Like he's good. He's good. Now, can you trust him in the playoffs? Again, go back to Johnny B. Goods. Start Murray and then start Samsonov. And then you'll know there where you can have that first goaltender where they can finish off the series.
But the playoffs can't be a tryout. You have to know.
It shouldn't be a tryout. So we should know who the starting goaltender is.
Yeah.
Why can't we say, you know what? Let's start Matt Murray. Because again, going back to what I was saying just 10 minutes ago, the Toronto Maple Leafs goaltending is not consistent. They had a good goalie in Frederik Andersen. He got injured. They gave him a bum. Went to Carolina. Had a phenomenal year with Carolina. I think he was second or first. Had a phenomenal playoff series. He got hurt, but that's the guy that took the Leafs to playoffs. They took that They drive that guy, and they trade him at the end of the season.
It's interesting to see Carolina struggling without him now, injured.
Yeah. But wouldn't Toronto really want a consistent goalie in Anderson?
I would say they need to start with Samsonov because to answer Nathan's saying which guy, they've seen Samsonov the most. So I think they know him. They trust him with Murray. Maybe they haven't seen him as much. But Murray has the experience, right? So, but I think down the stretch, this is maybe why coach is alternating, trying to get a feel for who's going to lead. So Samsonov had a great game last night. Murray had a great game tonight. I mean, 51 saves. It was a close game. Ottawa's got a lot of good goal scorers. So I know they don't look like it in the standings because they had a tough start to the season, but they're coming on stronger. But again, Murray did a good job to keep them in the game.
Yeah, I have actually a question for Nathan, and I asked you this at Fansha too. Are the Toronto Maple Leafs going to get out of the first round? I just want to think about that. Are they finally going to get out or what?
Okay, so we were talking about this, and I said something a little cheeky, but then I've been thinking about it. I wonder if there's validity to what I said cheekily. I had said to Joe, I'm starting to wonder. Do Toronto work so hard on their way into the playoffs so they can sell all these tickets, and then they just immediately, just lose it in the first game? So they've got their season tickets already. It doesn't even matter. It's this whole money grab situation. Is it like, they get the hype train rolling? Let's go, Toronto. We're second in the league or in the division or whatever, and then first out. Year after year, first out. What's going on with that? So, I'm starting to see a trend. I love Toronto. They've been my team since I was young, but that doesn't mean that I can't criticize what their management might be doing because they are one of the top earners in the league. But when was the last time they even made it to semifinals? What year was that in? Right?
Well, the last time they got that first round was 2004. So,
well, it's been tough too. I think a lot of it has to do with the playoff format. I don't like this change. I mean, every year you're facing Boston or Tampa Bay in the first round. Those are no slouches for team. I mean, if you're playing like Montreal, or you're playing like a lesser team in the standings, and then you were losing, you could say something. But I mean, if every year, based on the playoff format, you're playing Tampa Bay or Boston, that's not an easy.
Now we've
situation.
seen them though in games. We've seen them mop the floor with these teams in very particular games, not consistently. Which
But
again,
to do it night after night in the playoffs, that's the difference.
That's different. Yeah, it changes things most definitely.
As you say, the format, and I brought this. You said it in perfect time, John. It's like you are the freaking guy that knows when I'm going to say something. You know when I'm going to share the screen. You said it in the perfect time. So you look at the format. First of all, the Atlantic. Okay, you're going to go with the Boston Bruins, having a phenomenal year, unbelievable. They only lost 3 games at home this year. 3 games in regulation. It's crazy. They're 52-11-5. Then look at the Leafs. Okay. They have 93 points. Now, Tampa Bay, they're playing good hockey now. They're on a 3-game winning streak. Vasilevsky's picking it up. You got Stamkos that is injured. I think he should be back in about a week if he's not back yet, as far as I know. And then you come down to the wild card. And this is where Johnny B. Good was talking about. Look at this. So the only teams out of the wild card that make the playoffs is 1 and 2. And it's funny. Look, you look at Florida, they're only a point back now. You look at Washington, they're 5 points back. And it's funny, teams that I believe have more than 80 points should make the playoffs.
Yes.
Last year, Florida had an unbelievable run. This year, they're kind of struggling. So same thing with Washington. Washington had a good run last year. They made the playoffs. With Alexander Ovechkin trying to beat Gretzky's goal record. But again, the format does suck with Gary Bettman because this thing sucks. 1 and 2.
Only 50% of the teams make the playoffs, right? So, but if you added, say, another 2, say 10 in each conference. So the way I was saying, maybe the first team, you worked hard all year. Maybe you get a bye the first round. The second and third place team get a wild card, right? So there's 10 teams. You've got 4 more fan bases in, but not only that, you've increased those chasing those other. So you've got more fan bases, maybe up to 20 teams in each 20 teams out of the league, and or more, at least excited heading towards the playoffs, rather than, and that only leaves maybe 8 teams in the basement that are okay. Well, let's just wait for next season. But at least even maybe even Vancouver, hey, we still got a shot at this thing to make the playoffs.
No, they have nothing to lose in Vancouver right now, so they can
I'm just saying it would be more
Yeah.
exciting for those fan bases rather
No
than
doubt.
absolutely,
Yes.
yeah. Right. So again, would make hockey more exciting across rather than, only 50% get in versus maybe 70 to 80% have a shot. Right. So would make hockey more exciting across the nation is what I'm saying.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you just added 2 more, like if you had 10 teams instead of the 8 they have now, like I said, it would be fair that the team that worked the hardest gets a bye the first round. The other 2 place a wild card. Rather than 2 and 3, somebody's going to lose in the first round and go home after working hard all year to get there.
No, I agree with you. Because you look at this, okay? Look at the wild card. Pittsburgh's at 78, and you look at the Rangers, they're at 88.
So if you had 4, like the wild cards, say if you had 4 wild cards in, right? So number 2 and number 3, it would play one of the wild cards in each of those divisions, right? Mm-hmm. But not only that, but look at 5, 6, and 7. They've still got a shot to maybe get 4, right? So they're still chasing, right? It would give some hope for those teams.
That would also make for some exciting hockey.
Exactly. That's
really
my point, right? So it would make more exciting for those fan bases to give them some hope. We still got a shot to make the playoffs rather than, only 2 get in. And, you got 6 teams chasing those 2 spots, or, get 8 teams chasing 2 spots. Like,
they should do like a tournament, like a play-in tournament, like the National Basketball
That's the thing, kind of like basketball. You see, basketball's gone to this play-in styles. Was it 10 teams, and I think 4 have to do a play-in format. So yeah, maybe do something like that, where at least it makes it more exciting for those other teams to get a shot.
Yeah. Now,
rather than wait till next year again.
Stop doing that. Makes me nauseous. No, but Johnny, what would you say? How many more teams should make it into the playoffs? Maybe if you raise that number.
Yes.
Again,
That's
you
what I'm
go
saying.
4.
So I'm saying 10. So right now it's 8 per conference. So I'd
Yes.
say raise it to 10. So 4
Mhm.
wild card teams, right?
Mhm.
So, but look at even number 5, 6, and 7 still have a shot at getting a wild card spot at number 4. So it makes it more exciting for the fan bases, is what I'm kind of saying. But yeah, if
No,
you made
I
it
agree.
10,
Agreed.
10 per conference, then I just think, again, if you have 20 fan bases versus 16 that get in, but even the excitement of leading up to the playoffs, I think it would just be better for hockey overall.
No, look at the number, how many teams there are, how many games there are played, and then it comes down to 8 teams. I think.
Well, I know. That's what I'm saying. And maybe instead of a 7-game series, make it a 5-game series. I mean, if they're worried about how long it goes, okay. I mean, back in my day, they used to do a 5-game series. Going back to the 70s.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Good
this
times.
and I see, I believe picks will make playoffs. It's just who's that final playoff spot, and I know Johnny B. Good, you said the Capitals are having a tough year, but I don't know. Buffalo's not going to make it. I can say it's going to be
I think
Washington.
Florida's got a shot. I'm hoping on it. I don't know. They're looking good. The Islanders are looking good. I mean, that's what I'm saying. So again, one of those teams working hard all year. They're right there, 1 point, 2 point, but they're going to miss the playoffs. I don't know. It just seems unfortunate.
Yeah, look at Detroit. Detroit had a good beginning start. Now they're what?
Yeah, I mean, Detroit's still in. Ottawa's still fighting. Buffalo. I mean, Buffalo's had a decent year. They're fighting for a spot. That's what I'm saying. If there was 4 wild cards, Buffalo and Ottawa, Detroit would still have a chance at the 4 spot.
Mhm.
I do want to see. I would love to see Washington because I like Ovi. I'm a Ovechkin fan. I've always been a Ovechkin fan. I think he's a phenomenal player.
Yeah, I know he's had a tough year. Washington's had a tough year, and I think they're missing the goaltending too.
Yeah. What do you guys think? You think Florida will make the final wild card spot?
I don't know. I was watching them play the other night. Boy, they look good, but I mean, so do the Islanders. Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's goaltending is maybe let them, but somehow they're still up there in the standings. So I don't know.
Okay, you look at the wild card, then you go to the Western.
I don't see Washington making it myself. I think it'll come down to Florida, Pittsburgh, or the Islanders.
Islanders.
Yeah, I think the Islanders have done well. They have I don't know how they've done. They're looking good. Florida's,
good.
like I said, Florida's look good.
35, 27, and 8, 78 points. They're 20, 12, and 3 at home, and they're 500 away. So I think, you know what? The Islanders are just a team that makes the playoffs. They're not a scary team. They're not dangerous. I can't say, they're going to go and beat the Bruins.
Well, again, then they'd be going up against Boston or Carolina first round.
I see Carolina knock them out in 5, or I see Boston sweeping them. Like, you look at Boston this year, and I think this is the last time you're going to see the Bruins this good for a very long time, because you got Bergeron, you got Marchand, they're getting older.
Well, not only that, Pasternak, but where they're solid is, again, they've got solid goaltending. Even their backup goalie is solid with Allmark and Swanson there. But again, solid in the pipes. That's what gives you a good playoff run.
Sure. I like to be honest with you, it's funny to say I'm a Leafs fan, but I do I have to respect the Bruins. I really do. For what they have done.
What was that?
We don't like them, but we respect them.
What'd you say, Joe?
I do respect the Boston Bruins. I have a Bruins jersey. I got a Chargers. I love Chara. People say, "What are you doing, Joe? Wearing a Bruins jersey with Chara's name at the back?" Because they're a good team.
The only one I ever liked was Bobby Orr.
Those are my 2 favorite teams. So,
okay, Nathan, Jack, gotta. How can you be a Leafs fan and a Bruins fan at the same time?
You just respected the Bruins. Why are you now?
Because I said I like them both.
Oh my God! Go ahead.
We don't like
answer
them,
it
but we respect
and give it to him. Give it to him.
So being a Toronto Maple Leafs fan was just growing up near Toronto, like growing up with Ty Domi, Curtis Joseph, Matt Sundin. I think Tyler White was his name. All the commercials and the nostalgia. But Boston Bruins, if I'm going to play, like, say, NHL 2K with some of my friends, I might pick Boston because they've got the stats, right? When it comes to playing hockey, you might want to be on the winning side.
Okay, Holly, that's the thing. I'm looking at this before we go to the Pacific, and I'm gonna say Washington makes playoffs.
You think so? Really?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say because I think they're gonna go on a run, and Washington usually does at the end of the season.
That
Beginning
makes sense.
of the year they start good. I know this year they've been struggling. Like Ovechkin hasn't been on his game. His father just passed away. It must be really tough. I got Washington pulling it off, and as I look at the schedule right now, they got they got a tough game tomorrow against the Wild. Then they got the Blue Jackets, Blackhawks, Penguins, Islanders, Lightning, Rangers, Canadians, Panthers, Islanders, Bruins, and they finish off with the Devils. I'm going to say they're going to make it. I want to be the opposite. I'm always the opposite, and I'm usually 95% right. I think the Caps make it. Now, going on the other hand, I am so impressed with the Minnesota Wild this year and Marc-Andre Fleury. That is one team is probably one of the most improved teams are the Wild, and I got to say the Hurricanes and Devils. And you know what? You're expecting to see the New York Rangers do this year because last year they were in that Eastern Conference final, and they had a good run.
Yeah,
right?
Rangers are looking scary of late. I mean, boy, they just destroyed Pittsburgh tonight.
Yeah, but I'm not. You know what? I'm not scared of the Rangers. I would be actually more scared of the Lightning, to be honest with you, because the Lightning have more experience. Right? I wouldn't be scared of.
They do. And I was going to say, I don't know, Vasilevsky has looked a little bit off this year. I mean, that's the only positive. But again, you never know. Come the playoffs, maybe they turn it up that extra notch.
Yeah, so you got, Dallas, you got Colorado, you got Minnesota, you got Vegas. That they just picked up Jonathan Quick. That was great for them because they had no goaltending in my.
I really like that move because I still think of Jonathan Quick as one of the best goalies. I know he's getting up there in age, but again, Vezina Trophy winner. One Stanley Cup. I was kind of hoping that he would go to a good team, and
I would trade your kids, Johnny. Look at that's a father right there for sure. I would trade, and this is really harsh to say, and I'm going to say it. I would trade William Nylander, and I would trade Mitch Marner for a younger version of Jonathan Quick, and I'll tell you why. Because the Toronto Maple Leafs don't need centers, don't need forwards. All they need is a good goaltending. And if the Leafs could ever do that trade, I would seriously go down to Toronto at the Scotiabank Arena, and I would go in, buy a Jonathan Quick jersey, and I would freaking watch at least 2 games in a row and spend my whole freaking paycheck.
You know what? I agree completely. I do actually.
I would. They need consistent goaltending. Unfortunately, I know, Rita, you don't like that. But look at it reality-wise. Look at reality. Just listen for a second, Rita. Just settle down, okay? Good girl. Reality-wise, the Leafs need a real consistent goal. If they want to get past that first round, second round, Eastern Conference Finals, or maybe even Stanley Cup, you have that veteran goaltending in Jonathan Quick. If you don't remember, Quick beat the Rangers 5 games in Game 5, a few years ago. So they're a good team. You get Jonathan Quick. I'm loving it.
When he was available in that trade, I said, boy, I hope the Leafs and do us.
Why didn't they?
Made some good moves. I was hoping he'd go out and get Quick, but he was already gone to Vegas. So, again, Vegas, getting a solid goaltender, they're going to make a good run now.
Nylander's not a goaltender, Joe. Leave Rita alone.
No, I really think Nylander is doing very well.
I have to call out Nathan, if I may. You said you love Toronto because of Mats Sundin. He was a Canuck.
You want to talk about bias? There you go.
Didn't he go to Vancouver afterwards, though?
Yeah. 1 year, 40 games. But he had standing ovations every time.
He's a well-loved Canadian. What can I say?
That goes by Mats Sundin, Vancouver Canucks. He played 1 year, that made the playoffs, and he's over representing my face. Oh yeah,
I forgave him for ever being a Maple Leaf. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I'd actually like to go back to what Joe said about trading Nylander and Marner for something like Quick, if that were ever a possible trade. I actually really agree with that because I was really liking Mitch Marner in the beginning. He's got fantastic IQ when he's in the rink, right? He is a phenomenal player, but I noticed that every time they've gone to the playoffs, they do end up against Boston, a larger, like physically larger and more physical team. And I find that he kind of bows down a lot, which I completely understand. He is a smaller guy. He doesn't have that big stature like a lot of the other players do have. So then it's hard to find that happy medium of he's got that incredible IQ when it comes to seeing plays and making plays happen. But if he's being pressured physically, he can't do any of that because he doesn't have the size in order to fight back a bit and push back. He needs his the goons to come in basically and deal with things. So it's really it's a tough topic, that one, really.
No, it is. And you know what? I was a huge Mike Babcock fan. And, there was a lot of speculations going around that Babcock used to abuse the players and do that. Babcock's an old version, an old school coach. But I was a diehard Babcock fan, and I continue on supporting him. I don't think he's coaching right now. The last time I heard he was going to coach a Saskatchewan team, a hockey Saskatchewan team. He was on NBC. He was supposed to sign a year contract for 2 years with NBC. But you know what? Leafs need a couple good, good lessons. They got to be toughened up. Al Pacino, there's a good quote out there. I don't know what to say, really. 3 minutes, the biggest battle of our professional lives. All it comes down to today. You're here to win or you're here to lose. True. And Babcock's the guy that maybe verbal abuse, but you know what? I would rather take the verbal abuse and go out there and win and put it to your players and put it to the fans out there that spend thousands of dollars, because it comes back to the fans. It comes back to us. They're making the millions of dollars. But if you're really, really, really a player that wants to win, I would give it everything it takes. I don't care if I'm making $105 million. You go out there and you play the best. You just don't go out there one day, you know what? I'm going to play okay. The next game, I'm going to play my ass off. Excuse my language. My gluteus maximus, I'm going to say. I'm going to play my gluteus maximus off to win this series or win this game. It's just, it sucks to see fans like us struggle on a daily basis, that we support our team. At the end of the day, they put us down and we continue on supporting us. And you know what's funny? Most expensive tickets, and they still sell out. Yeah. So it makes me crazy, So do they really want to win? That's the question. That's the next question. Do the Maple Leafs really want to win? I think the players want to win, but I think the management upstairs, and I think something to do with Rogers. I'm talking about the big network with Rogers, the internet. There's stuff going around there that I'm not sure if it's speculation, but stuff going around there. It's like Blue Jays. Who owns the Toronto Blue Jays? Rogers, right? Rogers Center.
Rogers, yeah, Rogers Group, right? Rogers Center.
It's like they don't care if they win or lose. It's just they want the money.
It's a business.
Back to the Leafs. Does Rogers really care what happens? No, all they do is want money. But those players, the ones like Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner and William Nylander, and I can even go back to the Sundin eras. I was a Sundin fan. I was a diehard Matt Sundin fan. Darcy Tucker.
Yeah, there we go.
I'll go to even the freaking Tosca at times. That puck 105 foot going from across the net. Those were the Leafs back then. But I think Marner, Matthews, Tavares, Nylander, those are the guys that want to win. And we got to find a way to put this team together to move forward. I'm tired of going back and saying, you know what, there's always next year. Yes, there's always next year. But eventually the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to start rebuilding soon if they can't get.
I was going to say, I like even their fourth line stepped up the last couple of games. Who was that? Aston or but some of their players on the fourth line have really stepped in now, which again, you need all four lines rolling coming to the playoffs. The only other thing I was going to say too is I don't know if the Leafs have a goalie in the minors that's up and coming, because I look at a team like Dallas last year. Jake Ottinger was a rookie. Man, he stepped up and carried Dallas a long way through the playoffs. If they had somebody in the farm system coming up, that would make a big difference. At least they have something to look forward to. We're building, use Samsonov and Murray this year, and then have somebody in the farm system coming up for the future years.
Interesting. Huh? Oh, I remember when I was in the beginning of the year, because Rita didn't. She said, "What? You really said that?" I says, "Whatever happens, happens," and I'm going to continue on to say that. Whatever happens, happens. I've lost so much sleep for this team, and I'm going to continue to lose sleep for this team. It's just
Well, you're not having a good year with you losing sleep with the Packers, now losing sleep with the Leafs.
that's another story, another day, man. I'm talking. You want to talk about Green Bay? You're putting fuel on the fire, my friend.
No, I'm just feeling bad for you. You're losing a lot of sleep and all these.
Oh, bro, I'm losing a lot of sleep.
He looks healthy to me, Johnny. He looks healthy to me.
Healthier than we are, yeah.
He
doesn't have all the other stuff we deal with.
No, I got some stuff. I got some stuff too to deal with. I'm 23 years old.
But
I got a few things to deal with too. But
what happened to Paul Green?
Colin Green?
Carl Green.
Who's that?
The goalie, Eric.
Shelgren.
Huh?
Is it Shelgren? Their other goalie?
Yeah.
I'm talking about Joseph. Joseph Wall was for the league. I think he's back in the minors, Marlies.
Yeah, I think they still own him, but he plays in the minors.
Okay.
Hang on. Yep.
It's interesting. But let's go down to the standings and talk about a few other things before we move on. So you got Seattle, the Krakens. They're very improved.
They've been the most surprising improved team this year. I mean, I was surprised to see them that far up in the standings. So
yeah,
good for them to see a new team in the league and doing well, kind of like Vegas.
Yeah, the team I really want them to make playoffs, and they're right there. They're actually in the second wild card spot.
Vancouver?
The final wild card spot is the Winnipeg Jets. I do like the Jets, man. I've always had love for them because I was a big fan of Bufflin, and Bufflin was one of those guys that he's a tough mini version of Max Domi. Big guy, solid guy that played for the Atlanta Thrashers many years ago before they moved on. That's how I started actually loving Winnipeg. I hope they make it. They got some good Canadian players on there. They got some future Hall of Famers on there, and they got a good coach. So they're 81
I'd
points.
like to see all the Canadian teams make it, but as I said, be a good year if you can get all 7 teams into the Canadian teams into the playoffs, and bring the cup back to Canada.
Should be. So you got Seattle, Winnipeg, Nashville, you got Calgary, St. Louis, you got the Vancouver Canucks, you got the Arizona Coyotes, Anaheim, Chicago, and San Jose. And again, another improved team, folks, is the Los Angeles Kings. They got rid of Quickborough on a 2-game winning streak, playing good hockey, really good at home, 22-9-3. Away, they're all right, 18-11-6. 6 means, 6 ties, if you want to say, or 6 losses during overtime or a shootout. It means they get a point, so 6 points.
Be interesting if Vegas and the Kings face off in the playoffs.
I would love that. I would love that. And I wouldn't mind seeing Winnipeg again against Edmonton. That would be a good battle of Canadians. So,
well, again, I'm hoping the Canadian teams. Actually, I don't want to see them face off each other in the first round. I'd like to see the Canadian teams kind of make it deep run.
Remind me, because my father always tells me, Joe, I always want to see the Canadian teams in the playoffs, but never face each other. But it'd be okay if Stanley Cup final, because
it's in the semifinals or something, right?
That'd be nice.
We'll have Edmonton versus Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
What Canadian team's gonna win it? Finally, after 93 since the Canadians won the Stanley Cup. So
your father is a kind man, Joe.
He is. Let's see. The Leafs' next matchup is Tuesday against the New York Islanders in New York. Then they got Florida, Carolina, Nashville, and then Florida. And that ends up to March. And then you got the 1 month. You got Ottawa, Detroit, Columbus, Boston, Montreal, Florida, Tampa, and the New York Rangers. And they finish off, and we'll know there officially 100% where the Maple Leafs stand and the Maple Leafs play Tampa
Some
Bay.
good games. Some good games coming up.
They do.
Absolutely.
They do. They really
Well,
do.
like I said, I mean, they played Carolina, played great last night, played Ottawa, and I know everybody says, "Well, Ottawa's lower in the standings," but I thought they always play them tough. They're always, the Battle of Ontario is always a match everybody looks forward to.
Yeah.
And it was
You know,
good.
the-
I was kind of glad they got that tie because at least they got that 1 point, and the Leafs still got their 2 points. So, but it was
And
good.
tonight was good. Like I was impressed. It could have went either way, but
Yeah, Battle of
I was-
Ontario was always good.
I wasn't because the shot difference.
Oh yeah, it was like 50.
You know, how do you?
Well, it's
How
easy
do
to
you-
say after the game, Joe. Come on.
no, I mean in the shootout. Not throughout
but-
the whole game. I mean the shootout.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Well, we've got Ottawa's. That's a rookie goalie. He's only a 22-year-old kid that they put in there. Both their goalies are kids now. So, again, I think they're looking towards building to next year, trying to get them some experience. So, I think
Nothing wrong
Toronto's
with
kind of
that.
similar with their other goalie
Yeah.
they have.
But yes, Jill, the shots on goal bad tonight.
You're on a two-on-one break, and this is what gets me crazy. You got power play. How do you like seriously? Like I even said, I saw one time the Leafs run a 5-on-3, and the other guy was on the breakaway. 5-on-3, like unacceptable on a 2-on-1 break, and it was easy goal. Like there was one goal today, Matt Murray led in easy, and the rest were good goals. But it's like 2-on-1 break. Come on, boys. You got your forwards out there. You got Austin Matthews. You better sign Austin Matthews with a big contract because his contract's coming up. It's like you're on a 2-on break against the Senators, and I get the
What are they
Senators.
going to do if they don't keep Matthews then?
Then forget about it. Might as well. That's the leader right there. That's the future right there.
Well, what they tend to do I think when they go to the playoffs, when they go to the power play, I think they tend to go with 4 forwards and 1 D, right? So trying to get that offensive pressure to set up. So they don't have their standard 2 defense back that they do when they get to the power play.
This is the shootout.
Had the beauty to hold it tight and
Yes.
The Brinkat, that's the guy we got from Chicago.
Brinket to lead it off against Matt Murray.
He was waiting to the last second.
He's a goal scorer. He's a good goal scorer. We picked him up from Chicago.
Cold-blooded.
He takes some left and he goes right.
That was great.
Up over the puck, a couple of quick moves and pulled it back to the forehand as Murray.
There's
your
Rita's,
girlfriend, Rita.
Well, they went 9. They went 9. I thought they were going to go 10. They went 9.
I saw a 20 shootout. Went down a 20 round.
A couple of times I thought Ottawa had it, and then they put Ottawa in trouble.
Nice.
That was
Now he
good.
knows what he's doing, Rita.
He does.
Well-
He does. Yes.
Look at this. Look at this. He goes, he digs, and he goes left. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's me under his goal.
Neil, what I said earlier, he doesn't score many goals as he should, but he's a team player.
Absolutely.
This guy is
Very
on the
smart.
ice.
100%. 100%. Actually, I didn't see the shootout today, so. See, Murray's a big boy. He's a big guy. He covers all the net. It's just
He covers.
He
covers
hardly
more.
moved.
If he
Look at
can
this.
get his composure back again.
Oh, he hit his stick.
Well, he got it
hardly
off the
moved.
end of the stick. Yeah, that was
He
Stinson
waited.
was going top corner. He had it, but it got off the end of the stick.
That was lucky.
there's my boy
Yeah,
Austin.
Matthews is going to score.
You better sign
Nice.
Austin Matthews for $105 million.
Well, as they got a veteran player against the rookie goalie.
Look at this. Beautiful. Beautiful. And Rita's
Got him down.
Trade him.
Yeah.
From left to right, backhand up.
I've yet to see Marner score in a
Batherson's got to
shootout.
score, 1 for 2.
He's wonderful.
Batherson to keep him alive.
Ooh.
Again, he should have moved more of the left side. I think he would have had it more. But then again,
The more you move as a goaltender in that
never go on your knees,
scenario,
folks.
I don't know. Like, I like his approach on being a little bit cold-hearted. See what you're gonna do.
Mitch Marner could be the hero today.
Marner won't score. He never does.
Marner for the win.
Too much movement.
Yeah, way too much movement.
I mean, good movement, but he should have put it upstairs, right? When he had the chance. He does that every time. That's every time.
it was a nice save, man. That was nice. You got to say that was nice.
See, right there. But he went low. That goalie's 6'7". He's got a long reach. So
Yeah.
Desperation gets the
If he
left
just
back there,
lifted it a
but
bit and went
save.
upstairs, he would have had him.
I wouldn't mind trading Gerard any day.
Working his way in, and Murray just
Giroux, I don't know.
yeah, ran
Isn't he
Too
Canadian?
close.
Yeah, he's Canadian, right?
real estate.
Giroux, yeah, he's from
And even at the end here,
just
thought maybe
north
he
of
could slide
Toronto
it in between underneath. That nice job of Murray.
or Ottawa
They
area.
should make him shave because of it.
Well, it's been a big night for Kelly Yarncroke.
Just like you, right?
Yeah, Yonkar is a good player.
I'm no hockey player. Yet.
Oh, you're a Canucks fan.
Damn.
aren't you?
And we'll play on.
That's our frogs.
Patience by Sogard as
Canucks.
his little
Yeah.
shuffle step didn't
At least they got Thatcher back. They got solid goaltending.
move first and shut the
Hey, you know what, Chuck?
after the shot.
I love him.
So now the
great.
Senators' 2-goal man gets a chance. to put
he had the
Ottawa
chance.
in front. And Murray again.
Like,
Yeah.
This guy's a big dude. He looks like a freaking lineman, like a Troy Polamalu for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Tkachuk tries to go quickly.
Well, like you said, he's a good boy. He covers a lot in net, so that's what you want from a goal. Almost like a lacrosse goalie.
5 rounds. Look at this.
Oh no, they went 9. They went 9 or
Yeah,
10.
no, but at this point,
Oh,
it's
that's
like
fine. Yeah.
I like the patience of Sogard here with the
they should end every game like that.
No, I think they should get rid of the shooter. to be
Well, he
honest
said it
with
was exciting, just the fact
It is.
that they were.
It is. But it's better when you're in the stadium. Then it's, like,
But it's exciting for the fans too. I think.
yeah.
I'm glad they don't do it for the playoffs. That's all.
Ottawa, they're really cheap tickets, and I heard they're going to be
Question.
building a.
Would
new
you build a
stadium, too.
website for a major brand with more than 200 million?
Looks like Morgan
Ottawa, you can
Riley's
get
gonna
tickets for like
a chance to win it. He's
for
been
100,
hot the
120
last
bucks,
couple of
right?
games.
Cut
Quick
you
little
105.
wrister is
You
where
put in
Riley
eight.
has scored
Round
the
6.
last 2. Rolls in 2. Does he get a shootout goal to win it? Morgan Riley
Oof.
beats
What
Sogard.
did I say, Nathan? Jeff? Wouldn't it be cool if the goalies can go out and take a shootout?
That would be neat.
That would be cool. I don't mind that.
Hasn't that happened once before? A goalie shot it down on an open net and scored
Oh,
once.
Murder,
Actually, Boston's goalie has done that this year. Ulmer.
This year?
Yeah, Ulmer
Oh.
did it this year. Well, it was empty net, right? Empty net goalie.
Ottawa has the advantage.
This is where he thought we had it won.
The slow and steady route. Look at him even just.
We like you're a Senators fan or a Canadians fan, bro. Come on, man. Like saying you like the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers.
No. Well, I grew up liking Montreal. Well, it's hard to like Montreal right now. The management's horrible. I mean, they're just in the basement every year. So. At least Ottawa's made some good moves in the offseason to get them back.
They're the fans, unbelievable.
The hits just keep coming.
Well, I used to live in Ottawa too. That's why.
Pulling it back and then taking it about
Not a big fan. I've been to Ottawa once, and
across the net.
Oh.
Just
I don't know. It just kind of looks like a
shutter step of speed.
looks like a Kip's Lane to me. I don't know. It wasn't lovely.
I went there once and it smelled like cigarettes.
Yeah, I agree. Nathan. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it smelled like more than cigarettes.
Where was that? Oh,
Ottawa.
Ottawa. I don't know where you were. You must have been in the bathroom then.
I was checking out the museums. That's just the one thing I
You were hanging out
remember.
in the wrong places.
Yeah, I guess.
Back
Yeah,
alley.
must have been.
Bobby McMahon for the win. And
Oh.
Sogard,
Rita,
who doesn't want to read that story. Oh, boy.
you have to talk to him. That has to get better.
And he rocked him.
I know.
The size of Sogard.
Can you bring Nathan up, because I'm gonna change a picture in that new video. I need him full screen. Booni,
And Matt Murray not blinking.
Look how big he is, man. Or is it just me?
Joe, can you put Nathan up center?
Head up
Cam.
the whole way. Just kind
I
of
will.
lost
Just give
it
me a
there
moment.
for a second and no bite.
Everybody's.
No hole there. for
Don't tell me
Matt
Kerfoot was the one
Murray.
that won it.
Hasn't scored in
Is this
Yeah.
the one?
This is
Oh,
it.
Tyler.
This is the winner.
Off him as he goes
Around
in.
9.
Nice.
Wow. Nice shot.
That's not scoring
Those
23
Those are the
games.
guys that get you in the shootouts. Is the your younger players.
No, he played it like there's no goalie in the goal.
Yeah, as I say, he just had a nice snap on the shot. Didn't get in too deep. It was good.
Okay, I got it now. I have a full screen. Okay. Thank you.
No problem, guys. Hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. I think we're doing.
Oh, for sure.
doing
Of course.
Got a couple more topics before we're running out. Wanted to bring up.
Okay, before you start, I was young. I needed the money.
Topics? No, not those kinds of topics.
Oh shit! Thank you. Sorry. My bad.
You want to be the start of the tension? There you go. There you're the start of the tension. Going back to Wayne Gretzky. Okay, and I want to bring this up. Rita said something about a year ago. She said something like, if it was because Wayne Gretzky was a very, very small body. He was like kind of like a Mitch Marner, so everybody would protect him. You know, if anybody would try to hit him, they would all be there. Right? Absolutely. I agree with you, Rita, very much so. Right?
All right.
But when you are the greatest player of all time, that tops everybody, and you got players that are surrounded by you, right? And you are the leader of the team. And if somebody tries intentionally to hurt you or do something, wouldn't you want somebody to have your back?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you should be able to fight your own battles instead of stepping back and letting your teammates take the penalties.
We're not downtown. We're not on the street. This is.
Oh, there you go.
No,
Well, that's kind of how the Tampa Bay Lightning, they have this pack mentality of, if you go after one, they all come in, right? It's not one or the other. But I know what you're saying, like with Toronto, because even sometimes when Matthews gets into it, he backs away and everybody else kind of comes in and protects him.
Yes.
So he doesn't do any of
Perfect
the dirty work.
example right there.
Oh no,
He
no,
doesn't do
but
any of the dirty work. He just,
that makes no sense, Joe. So you want the fighting out of ice hockey?
I didn't say that. I didn't.
No.
Well, then you can't say.
No.
Well, he has
I'm
other
just saying
people
the
coming in.
key players, Gretzky,
I
like
didn't-
Gretzky didn't fight really, and
It's not
Here's
that.
the thing.
You just hire
Wayne
people for the right
Gretzky-
job.
Connor
Wayne-
McDavid fights, though.
One thing I have to say, Wayne Gretzky having the puck was one of the fastest on the ice. Only
Yes.
Todd Pertuzzi, if you paid him enough, was faster. But other than that, Gretzky was good with the puck. But when you look at the captain of the Penguins today, he fights all. That's an ice hockey player of the new generation.
David does too.
It's a different time. Different time.
You know
Yes,
what?
That's fair.
If you're requiring, if you talk about Sidney Crosby, I have to totally disagree with you. Okay.
He has a gold medal in the Olympics. Wayne Gretzky
I
doesn't.
can care less. I can care less. You know what? You always bring up the gold medal Olympics. Yeah, Crosby does. Crosby has a lot of cups. Congratulations. I respect the guy. And you know what? The guy reminds me of, seriously, just a little kid. Always whines and wants his way, and he always gets his way. You know why? Because he's so called the greatest player of all time. People even say he's better than actually Wayne
He
Gretzky.
won more Stanley Cups younger than Gretzky was.
That doesn't mean anything, bro.
It does. Then you can complain.
It's like saying LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan.
No, listen to me. I would agree with you 100%. But yet, let me tell you one thing. Gretzky always wanted a gold medal. The only time when he was the coach of the national ice hockey team, 2006 in Italy, he took Pertuzzi over Sidney Crosby. 4 years later, in Vancouver, Sidney Crosby got a gold medal that Wayne Gretzky didn't want him to have 4 years earlier. Amen.
But
They didn't even make it into bronze medal with Wayne Gretzky as a coach.
it's not about the gold medal. It's not about.
It was for Gretzky.
Listen. You've been saying that for freaking 5 years straight. Okay.
No, 2006. I say that for 16 years straight.
I'm gonna put you in your place for a sec. When you look at
Make it a big place. I'm obese.
and when you look at stats, you don't see gold medals. You see points, scores, goals, how many Stanley Cups. Then I call it after. It's like, you work 40 hours at work, and you get time and a half. I call that time and a half, that gold medal. Time and a half. It's about this.
He never had a gold medal.
That's what I'm saying. Gretzky has cups. So if Gretzky wanted the gold medal, he could have got it. That would have been time and a half. I don't look at this.
All hockey players have a cup.
But no, not all hockey players. Not Uncle doesn't.
Not that kind of cup.
I'm very surprised that earlier you actually admitted that Ovechkin broke a Gretzky record. So,
well, he is. He's gonna break. It looks like he's gonna break his goals too. He's very, very close, right? I think
Yeah.
he will. He's about what? 50 away, 60 away.
Oh wow.
Yeah, let me see. How many goals is Ovechkin? Let's see. Alexander Ovechkin, the Russian.
They're still working on breaking Gretzky's records.
Yeah.
no doubt about that. Johnny B.
It'll happen. It'll happen.
I'm just
One
saying,
day.
like, he's accumulated in his career.
Yeah.
There's
But
still,
even
to this
Lemieux
day,
had more points. Just saying.
Look at the pace of hockey today versus
It's
Gretzky's
faster.
time,
It's
though.
definitely
No doubt.
faster.
Different
Much-
game. It's a different game.
It's a different game. It's a faster game. Yes.
The goalies today are
Oh, I know.
arguably in
It's funny.
other leagues compared to what Wayne had to play against, depending on the team, of course.
Oh,
So there's a lot of variables.
Yeah.
in
It's funny
that.
if you watch some of the games from the older, like 60s and 70s or even 80s. It's like it's almost slow motion.
You have to read that. I can't read it. It's too. I can't read that stuff.
So Alexander Ovechkin, currently right now, folks, is at 817, and Wayne Gretzky played for the Islanders, Kings, Blues, Rangers, 894. So if anybody can do a
Wow.
calculator right now, how many goals is Ovechkin away from Gretzky? 817, you got 894. You want to do the math?
No, it's easy. It's 77.
Yes, 77.
77 goals. Now my question to all you guys: Will Ovechkin beat Gretzky's record?
Yes.
Well, how many more years has he got left in him?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say 3 solid years.
Rita,
Yes.
let me get a step further. If Gretzky played today, he wouldn't be a professional ice hockey player.
No, he wouldn't.
Yeah. That's the
That's like-
difference. The game is different. Those are athletes Gretzky could never live up to.
Not today's. No.
Not today.
It's like, you know what, bro? It's like, I'm gonna use bro. Okay, for a second. I gotta use bro. I never use bro, but bro. Okay, you don't make sense. Okay,
Bro.
Seriously. Okay, Michael Jordan. Could Michael Jordan upbeat LeBron James in today's day?
Yes.
At his age? No, he couldn't, because he's 50 plus years old. The guy. Okay, so what are you trying to say?
No. I'm not saying at his age. If he was a young hockey player today, he wouldn't make the NHL. That's what I'm saying.
I disagree. I disagree with you. You'd make the NHL. Why wouldn't? Look at Mitch Marner. Guy's smaller than Gretzky, or the same size. Why wouldn't he make the NHL? You know, when Nazem Kadri played for the London Knights, he was a very small guy. Then he got big. He got tanked up. He came to Toronto. You know, they mistreated him in Toronto. Then he came and, you know.
Yeah, I really like Kadri. He was good.
Worked out for him. He went and won a Stanley Cup in Colorado.
And he's having a good year in. He's having a really good
Calgary.
year.
A little
Calgary.
bit struggled, not quite the same.
No, well, you know what? The guy deserves what he got, right? He wants to settle contract. He doesn't want a 1 or 2 year contract. Give him a 5-year contract. Let him stay in Calgary. You know, he got his family in Calgary. So give him a good contract, and he stayed in. You know what? He's maybe having the greatest year, but he's still producing goals, assists, and he's doing what he's doing, right?
I'm just saying it's a little bit more challenging in Calgary than it was when he played in Colorado.
Oh, for sure.
Different line mates, different chemistry, different people.
There's a star of the attention out there. Colorado, he was, and you had Nathan McKinnon, you had so many players.
Gail
right now.
McCarr, I mean, boy, as I said, he got a star-studded team there.
Yeah, they're a good team. They're a really good team.
Joe hates me right now, but hey, listen.
Do you think Colorado will be in the mix again for defending champs
This year or next?
this year?
I think they will, but I think I'll tell you who'll knock them out.
Vegas.
I wanted to talk about that, but you have Eng talking about Gretzky, and he goes,
You started it.
You started it.
yeah, I was talking facts, then you brought some baloney and jabroni up,
That
What
was
was the fact?
factual.
What was the fact?
Keep drinking, buddy.
No, listen to me. Okay, let me ask you something. Sidney Crosby was the captain of every ice hockey national team of Canada until when Gretzky didn't take him to the Olympics in 2006. Explain that to me.
Going back to the goalie
That's
now.
why Franz Beckenbauer didn't take Matthäus to one of the World Championships of German soccer. There is something to it. He never got a gold medal. He wanted to win a gold medal as a coach because he couldn't as a player. And he leaves the one who is the most promising player of all time in Canada as a junior, and he doesn't take him. It takes Bertuzzi. And they didn't even make a medal.
Not that it bothers me.
Explain that to me.
You know what? I can
mind
agree
up
with
to
that.
that point. Go ahead.
I was just going to say I can agree with that. That you're looking at it that way, it does seem to be a slip up.
Yes, a big
I
one.
mean,
Yeah.
the only thing you could say is Bertuzzi had more experience over Crosby, but I mean, obviously
That's
Crosby
fair.
was a good player.
Amen.
I mean, they're both
Yet,
good players.
at
It's
that
just
time-
like he's an experience. Maybe that's the only.
Johnny, absolutely. At that time, however, he already put the Colorado player head first into the ice. Remember that?
Oh yeah, I wasn't sure on the timing on that.
No. It's just Bertuzzi was not someone who should represent Canadian ice hockey, and I'm German. Trust me.
Okay. Let me ask
So
you-
now, okay.
let me ask you something.
Forget my last sentence. Just stick to the subject.
No, I'm not. No, let me go back to your question.
What was the
Who's
question?
Canadian or Russian or American?
No, okay. Forget what I said at the end, because that's the only you can hang on. Tell me why he didn't take Sidney Crosby to the Winter Olympics in
we
Italy,
can't answer that.
2006.
We can guess, but we can't answer that. Only
I can't answer that. I'm not.
4 years later, he is the captain of the national team of Canada and wins the gold medal.
Buddy,
he won junior gold medals.
Let me take these Ray-Ban glasses off for a sec. Okay. and speak to you like a man to man. Like
I know. Let me answer like Bertuzzi. It is what it is.
It's not about gold medals. It's about.
What was your other question?
It was for Gretzky.
Okay. Do
Who said it?
Do you have anything else to fight, or is that just what you have? That's all you can answer. That's all we
No,
have.
Gretzky said I could never make it as a player. Now I get it as a coach. He takes Bertuzzi and leaves Sidney Crosby home. 4 years later, Sidney Crosby wins the gold medal. In Vancouver, I was there. It was overtime.
I'm sorry, but I can't argue with this.
What was your other? I mean, it is a valid point. It is a valid point. I mean, that's really the end discussion. So the why, we won't know why. We can guess, but we don't know.
Yes, absolutely. And if that didn't happen, I would have nothing against Gretzky. But that was a busy. Even Don Cherry. Don Cherry had in Vancouver, when he does of the young players, when he brings them all together from Canada.
Yes.
And Sidney Crosby refused to go. And he just went after Sidney Crosby, and this is a disgrace and blah, blah, blah. But he took it all back after Sidney Crosby won the gold medal in Vancouver.
Good.
He said he takes it all back. That's a hockey player.
He said, "Es tut mir leid."
The whole thing. No. Listen, it's a German saying. You just said, "I'm sorry."
I know. He said, but that's not what Don Cherry said.
No, Nathan. We never use it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
What's your other questions, Joe?
We're always right. We lost 2 world wars. We know how shit goes down. Whatever a German does, that's really good, especially fucking up. We're really good at it.
Okay.
My last question for tonight's show.
I love you, Joe.
I love you too, buddy. My last question for tonight, because I know
You're driving them crazy. We love you.
it's 11:57 p.m. Eastern time. People are getting tired, and I gotta getting tired myself too. I want to have a bite to eat before I go to bed too. My last question for you guys is, who were the Stanley Cup final favorites in you guys' eyes from the Eastern Conference to the Western Conference? I'll bring back the schedule one more time, and you guys can choose, and I'll tell you guys my insight too. There we go. We'll make the screen bigger. So first, we'll go out of the Metropolitan and Atlantic, and I'll go down. So I'm going to go with Nathan Jacks first. Who do you think, my friend, and why?
That's a really good question. I would probably, Boston is always a big player. They're physical. They play great hockey. They've got a really good record going. I could see, like for Eastern, if it were strictly Eastern, I could see it being probably Boston and Carolina.
Yeah.
Honestly, or even, I don't know, because I haven't been paying attention to the Rangers much, so I don't know really what they're up to. They are looking good. They've got good points on the board. And again, I haven't been paying attention to New Jersey as much lately, but I liked them in the past. So they have always been like a good team to at least make it to the playoffs. But Boston is still just top. Yeah, maybe even Boston, and I don't know. Definitely Boston Bruins, though. I could see that.
Yeah, you don't have any faith in Toronto?
I like Toronto, but I'm a realist, man. I haven't had faith in Toronto. It would be different though if Toronto had Muzzin right now, right? I think it would be a bit different because that could solve some of their synergy issues with their defense. Absolutely. And getting so many shots on net. Absolutely. So we could be really having a very different discussion if Muzzin was still playing, because then also when we get into those issues that we talked about with Mitch Marner not being able to defend himself physically, well, there's Muzzin right there ready to shut everything down physically, because he's a big man too. So him being out causes a lot of problems. So I don't have faith for Toronto this year, at least. I don't see it happening. Oh,
you're being realistic, and I like the realist.
Yeah.
So you're picking Boston. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to go with Rita. And Rita, be honest. Go ahead.
I'm always honest. And honestly, I can't see those. So you're going to have to name the ones that are sitting there.
Yeah, because you're on your phone. Okay. So you got the Metropolitan Division. You got the Carolina Hurricanes. You get the New Jersey Devils, Rangers. And you got the Bruins, Lightning, Toronto. And you got the wild card Pittsburgh, Islanders, Florida, and Washington, I'm going to say.
Rangers.
You're gonna go with the Rangers?
Yeah.
Out of the Eastern Conference, like the Atlantic, you think they're going to be the ones that are going to go to the Stanley Cup final?
I still think I honest to goodness think that the Leafs are going to win right to the end, but
wow. Well, let me put that big screen. Can you please say that one more time, because I'm gonna, if this ever one more time.
I say the Leafs are going to win they're going to win. You're going to be eating your words. Put it that way.
And I hope I eat my words, and I hope I get a couple punches in the face downtown Toronto.
No punches in the face.
Punches? No, I'm kidding.
I hope I can. I hope so. I will take
kidding
for those words. Keep my words up. Toronto, okay, interesting.
I believe they will. And you know me, I've been saying that.
Wow. I might have to do that bet, maybe that jersey. Let me think about it. Okay. How about you, Johnny? Be good. Out of the Eastern, you can say
out of the East. Well, I'm gonna say again. For me, I always look at goaltending. Carolina's struggling a bit goaltending now. Devils have been okay. I see the team contending there is the Rangers. They got the goaltending. They've added Patrick Kane and some other key Tarasenko, some other key veteran playoff guys. So I think the Rangers are a threat there. I think Toronto gets out of the first round. I think Toronto finally gets over the hump, gets out of the first round against Tampa. We're going to face Boston, but again, I just think Boston has been solid all year. But I'll say Boston and the Rangers and Toronto, those three in the East.
Interesting.
Good choice.
Ing?
Choices.
Okay, well, Boston seems to be it. However, I hope Toronto. And if not, I think Carolina has a good defensive team. I think Carolina.
They didn't look like it last night.
I don't know. I think they had a bad day this week. So let's see. I don't know.
Who are you picking?
Carolina other than Boston. And I hope Toronto.
Interesting.
Well, my son will like it. He loves Carolina. That's his favorite.
There you go.
So out of me, out of the Atlantic, the Eastern. A moment. I like to do my little math. I like to think. I'm gonna go with Boston. I think it's Boston's year. I think they go to the Stanley Cup final, and
I want the Leafs in Boston.
well, that can never happen in the Stanley Cup final. But
Yeah, that's yeah.
They're in
I
the
know.
same-
I know.
Unfortunately.
Boston and Minnesota for the Stanley Cup final.
Okay.
Okay.
Boston wins in 6. Fleury finished his career with Minnesota, signs a 1-day contract with the Penguins,
Back.
leaves. I want to see of course, John, but I'm going to say Bruins and Wild for the Stanley Cup final.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. How about you guys? Pacific, Central, Nathan? You got Vegas, you got Los Angeles, you got Edmonton, Minnesota, Colorado, and Dallas.
I've always liked Los Angeles, but although they don't have Quick anymore, Jonathan Quick, right? They traded him.
Yep, he went
to Vegas. Vegas has them now.
Oh, they went to Vegas. So who's goaltending for Los Angeles right now?
They picked up no, not just Turkey. They picked up from Columbus. A solid goalie. They got a good goalie from.
Goaltending. Their goalies are. It's Jacob Ingram.
Okay. I could see finals, Boston and Los Angeles. I think if not Boston and Vegas, but I would almost go to Los Angeles. They got more experience.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that would be a guess.
Johnny, be good.
Boy, I don't know.
Oh, sorry. It's Rita's turn. Rita.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Rita. Go ahead.
Oh, she left. Johnny, be good.
Did she leave? Oh, okay. The West is always the tough, and I just see this is the competitive. I know maybe the numbers aren't there versus Boston, but a lot of good teams. Colorado's coming on strong, and if it's Colorado and the Minnesota, the first round, that's not going to fare well for Minnesota. So it's Colorado, Dallas, Vegas. I'd like to see the Oilers get out of the first round against the Kings, but again, it's goaltending. I'm not sure I have a lot of confidence. I think I'll say Oilers get out of the first round, Vegas, but I think Vegas and Colorado are the two teams there, I think, to watch. Colorado defending champions. They seem to be turning it up another notch right now, looking strong. But Vegas, I don't know. I'm gonna stick with Colorado again.
You know, it'd be cool if Vegas and Boston. That would be a cool matchup.
Yeah, I mean those are the two strong, or the Rangers. They say Rangers, Boston, Colorado, Vegas. I mean those to me are the strong.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Rita just got a phone call. That's what she said.
Oh,
okay. We're gonna go with Ing. Final thing.
Well, I already said Colorado. Now.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Since, however, I have to say one thing. Since a part owner of Vancouver Canucks back in the day owns now Dallas, Tom Gallardi. So I have to throw in Dallas as well. And you know what?
Dallas has looked strong. Again, goalie Ottinger, man, boy, he carried him a long ways. They got to the semifinals. So Dallas is another strong team.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I also, Vegas, did anyone think that a new team like this established itself like this?
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing.
But again, look at Seattle. I mean, Seattle's what, second or third year now? And boy, I mean, they've got some great picks. They've drafted well, and boy, they're in great position.
But they don't have a star. It's just a good team. Like when you
That's
look at,
the thing. You don't have to have all the star power, but you have. I mean, you need some key players, but you come together as a team. That's right.
You're gonna say something, Nathan?
They do have a solid goalie, though. Yeah.
Sorry?
You had something to say?
Oh, I was just going to say about Vegas. Look at what the city is, though. No wonder they're able to get such a good team under their belt. They're the elitist playground. They've got a lot of money to play with, so they can pull in right from the get-go. They can make a team that is, shaking things up. So it makes sense for Vegas to be out there doing very well.
Well, they're doing better than the Raiders.
they always sell out. And it was I have to find it. There was a report that many people who have never seen an ice hockey game in their lives do it because they're in Vegas.
That makes sense.
That's kind of like Tampa Bay and Florida too, right?
Yeah, same thing. Yes.
Or California, maybe. I don't know.
If you bring it,
good for the franchise.
If you build it, they will come, right?
Yeah. Joe, what are your picks?
I just said I said Boston, and I said Minnesota for the final.
Oh, Minnesota, that's right.
But I hope I'm wrong.
You really think?
Man,
Yeah.
Toronto goes to the Cup. I'm gonna go downtown. I'm gonna go to Raptor Square, Leaf Square, and watch it outside of the fence.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
How many people are there at the time? Like
usually they can fit about 25,000.
Nice.
More than that. Crazy, yeah.
Well, you want to talk about if Toronto ever won the Cup, the city would be on
Look
fire.
how many when the Raptors.
I wouldn't want to be in Toronto if they won the Cup.
Oh my God! Look how many people turned out for the Raptors parade. Ooh.
Nope.
No, I think it'd be dangerous, to be honest with you.
100%.
Maybe that's why they don't want
I
to
wouldn't go there.
Yeah.
Imagine to be an Uber driver in Toronto when you're
Oh, yeah.
No.
You're going nowhere fast that day.
You know what? I think it should be a holiday. I think the Prime Minister should say, "Hey, you got a week
He's
every
not
year."
Canadian enough. Stop talking about him.
I was going to say you're saying bad words now.
No, that'd be cool. A week off, folks, and everybody gets paid the same as they work for 8 hours or whatever. It'd be really cool. Right? I'll try to contact the Prime Minister and tell him, listen, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, our Frenchman, our leader, I guess.
There's a landed immigrant from Germany to Canada wants to talk to you.
Yeah. We're not going to hate anybody, but folks.
I sent my sons to French immersion. They could take him on. Just saying.
Be nice.
I can't even vote. Who cares what I say?
You don't have a Canadian citizen?
No.
Why did you get
my wife born in Tokyo, Japan, myself outside of Munich, Germany, because we lost the Second World War together, we cannot have dual citizenship. However, my children have 3.
Oh,
because they were born outside of Germany.
Okay.
Yeah. And the only Canadians in the house. My oldest son was 12 and he said, "Dad, I'm going to deport you."
No,
That's why I'm in the basement.
You raised a wonderful son to say that, right? Daddy must have been.
Know who runs the household.
Better man today than I ever was and will be. But they're very proud.
So you're saying the kids are running the house?
Absolutely. And I'm not bitter. Well,
they said ausgehen.
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 Halsmaul, things like that.
Sure.
Do you have a German background, Nathan?
Mein Vater ist Halbdeutsch.
Halbdeutsch. Das reicht. Halbdeutsch reicht.
Ja, aber meine Wortschatz ist nicht sehr gut. So, spreche langsamer, bitte.
Meine Mutter, wenn die mit mir telefoniert, dann sagt sie, mein Deutsch ist so schlecht, dass meine Mutter sagt, bist du betrunken? Hast du zu viel getrunken? My mom, when I call her,
she
my
asks if you've
German
been
gets
drinking.
bad. Yeah. My German is getting so bad. When my mother calls me, she's 86. And she talks to me, and I'm looking for German word. She said, "Are you drinking again?" I said, "I will after you hang up." Stop calling me.
That I haven't been, but I'll start.
يسعد مساكم يا جماعة.
I should.
بي لبنان وأمي السورية. يا هلا فيكم. حبك يا إنج، حبك يا جاني بيقول، وحبك يا نيث جاك. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد. اليوم جو بوني وجو سبورتس شانل كتير مبسوط بالشو، وحكينا تورونتو ميبل ليس وأتوا سنترز وتورونتو يربحوا 5-4 بالشوت اوت. الحمد لله والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته وتحياتي لكم
Alapa.
الجميع. You want to
I
speak
love you,
German?
Joe.
I can speak another language too.
Listen, my kids speak German, French, English. What else do we have? Japanese. But they don't listen in any of them. If you
That's
have children,
hilarious.
don't teach them anything.
Don't teach them anything.
Especially the bad words, you know. The
Very proud of my children, and they're good Canadians. I can tell you that.
yeah, they're good people. I met them a few times. They're wonderful kids.
Thank you, sir.
Father. I want to bring everybody's attention. I got a big announcement, folks. If you haven't heard yet, on March 30th at 10:45 a.m. Eastern time, my co-host Tino, known as Sicilian, and your host Joe Booni and Joe Sports Channel. I hope you know me already. We'll be interviewing the play-by-play announcer Jack Armstrong, the Toronto Raptors commentator, for 20 minutes. We will be pre-recording the show. So if anyone has any questions or likes to listen backstage, we're not going live, but the video will be uploaded after when we finish the interview. It's for 20 minutes at 10:45, March 30th, 2023. I think that's a Thursday. So if anyone's interested and wants to come backstage and listen live with us, you're more than welcome to. Let me know so I can put the spots in. The maximum, I think, is 8 or 9 people because I'll be doing a premiere on StreamYards, paying for the StreamYards for the recording. So if anyone's interested, March 30th at 10:45, let me know and I'll put you guys in. I'll book you guys in as well.
Sweet.
Got Johnny. Okay. We were talking about that earlier. Anything else, guys, before we run out?
Just one thing, Nathan and Johnny. At the end, can you stay in StreamYards? I have to ask you both something. So
Sure.
yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I'll talk to you guys backstage too. Just gonna end the show. I want to thank all you amazing, wonderful, beautiful Booni believers once again for continuing on supporting me day in and day out. Without you guys, this would never have happened. I meet so many great faces. I connect with so many great people, like Eng, like Johnny Be Good, like Sicilian, like Rita, like many of my family members, my real family members from the Booni side. Even Nathan Jack, just again. Great guy, knows his stuff, and I had to put him on. I had to bring him on. I called him up. He was watching a UFC fight. I thought there was a main event at 11 o'clock, and I was wrong. And I said to myself, maybe there's a chance that we can bring Nathan on tonight, and we can introduce him to all the viewers on YouTube, and especially the Booni believers. And I would love if Nathan has Facebook to sign him up on the Booni believers, bring him in the group chat. And if we can get in contact with Nathan Jack on his Facebook, you can add him and you can sign him up, put him on there too, because I know I have to do some things after. I can make time too to put Nathan in if Nathan is interested in coming on the group. The group is all sports. We connect on there. We talk on there. We talk about what's going to happen.
And friendship.
And all that. And friendship.
Good.
Yeah. So any questions, guys?
I think so.
Appreciate it very much. And guys, I'll see you March 30th at 10:45. Looking forward to it. It's going to be good, and we'll see you there. Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir.
$60. What are your thoughts on that?
Jackass, go home.
60 goals.
That's the team. Even though they're not in the playoffs. This is who you should be going for, not this stupid team.
60 goals.
Not that stupid double Matthews.
Congratulate him at least.
Shave your ugly mustache.
Congratulate
Shave that
him.
ugly face, you ugly piece of shit.
Congratulate him.
No.
Congratulate him.
Yeah. Donkey. got me.
Okay.
Ah,
Huh?
just as much as I don't like that stupid guy Brock Lesnar, I don't like Matthews.
Oh yeah.
Go home. Break your ankle.
Hey,
Fellas, break your ankle. Go home.
you like Tom Brady?
Jackass.
Anyways,